Organic wine, natural wine, biodynamic wine, what are the differences and why is it a movement that's growing and becoming ever more successful and present on the wine list and on the shelves of wine stores? Before I start talking about these categories of wine, what is important to know is that winemaking is a major agricultural polluter. Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, as well as synthetic fertilizers, and a whole array of other chemicals used in the winemaking, in the winery, are big polluters. So polluting the waterways, polluting the earth, and polluting the air around us. Viticulture is a major polluter. And on the other side, we have a movement of people wanting things that are cleaner, with less chemicals used to produce, and that are more respectful of the environment and giving production the opportunity to be more sustainable. First category is organic wine. Organic wine is a regulated term. That means that it has to follow strict rules to be able to use the word organic on the label. But what is organic? So for wine to be organic, the rules are going to be different according to the country that wine is produced. In Europe, however, it's important to know that organic wine doesn't mean that it does not have any chemicals. Organic wine means that it's produced organically without the use of pesticides, herbicides, synthetic fertilizers. But then when the grapes come into the cellar, into the winery, there's a whole bunch of different chemicals that can be used, can be added to the wine. I'm not talking only of sulfur. There's a whole bunch of other chemicals, 44 to be exact, that can be added to the wine. So I don't know, I'll leave it to you to decide whether that's very organic or not. For me, not really. The US do things a bit differently, and I find in a more interesting way. There's organic made from organically produced grapes, so something similar to what we have in Europe. And then organic wine, you can't use the whole bunch or the whole array of chemicals in the way that you do in Europe. And then different countries around the world are going to have different rules and regulations. But we're going to go into that probably in another video. The next category we have is biodynamic wine. Now, biodynamic wine is also a regulated term. Many people see biodynamic as organic plus, as in it's less chemicals that are used or more organic, if that's possible. The reality is that's not the case. Biodynamic is a whole philosophy of agriculture. It is a philosophy. Many people see biodynamic as a bit of wines made by wizards or magic potions, which are used. Those potions are used to treat the vines, to treat the vineyard. So some detractors are going to say that it's all about this non-scientific wizardry approach to winemaking. All that counts for me is that some of the greatest wines on earth are produced following the biodynamic approach. Then we have natural wine. Now, natural wine is not a regulated term. It means that pretty much anybody can say they're producing natural wine, which is a positive, but also a negative, because nothing kind of certifies that it is a natural wine. So natural wine is a movement that's growing in popularity because it's followed by people who want to produce wine in a way that's as close as possible as the way nature intended. So reducing chemicals to the bare minimum, if any at all. So definitely nothing in the vineyards, and in the winery, the use of sulfur the minimum possible use of sulfur for sure, because it's close to impossible, not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to produce a good wine without the use of sulfur. Now, again, natural wine has many detractors. People saying that it's not really wine, that the wines aren't good, that the wines are orange, that the wines are oxidized, that they're not good, they're full of faults, etc., etc. But whatever the case may be, it is a growing movement. More and more people, so either wine producers that were producing wine conventionally and have been introduced to natural wines, and seeing these wines that are a lot more expressive are attracted to that whole type of wine and that approach to wine growing and winemaking. And it's also very successful in a whole bunch of people who were working in another life, were working in advertising, in banking, and that had the romantic attraction of having their own vineyards and producing their own wine, and they want to do that in a way that's natural, that's respectful of the environment. I hope that's answered a few of the questions that you may have. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. And until then, as we say in France, santé.